What is going on, everyone? Thank you so much for coming back today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day just to click on the video. It is definitely appreciated. Thank you. What I want to talk about today is something that is kind of disturbing once I started finding out the news about it. This is old news, so this is not new news. This is something that I just found out, and I don't know if a lot of you guys know this or not. But growing up in the 90s, one of the biggest movies for me, being a kid, was The Sandlot. I absolutely love that movie. I mean, I don't think any kid growing up in the 90s didn't want to be Bennie. And I'm talking about Bennie the Jet Rodriguez from The Sandlot. But in actuality, I was more like a Smalls. So, but no. So growing up in the 90s, watching that, I absolutely loved it. Still watched it. I watched it not too long ago, actually, because it's just one of those childhood. It just brings back all the great memories. So, I was scrolling through YouTube and just so happened to come across this documentary. It's called Sandlot Forever. It's the 25th anniversary, where the cast and crew got together for the 25th anniversary at a Salt Lake City Comic Con. And as I'm watching this and just reliving all those memories, it was just like one thing was missing, and I kept being like, "Where is Bennie at?" Mike Vitar, the guy who played Bennie, I'm always referred to him as Bennie because Mike, he's not Mike to me. He's Bennie. But no, it's like I kept like, why would he not show up? Like, where's he at? What is he doing? And so after the documentary is over, which by the way too, I'll have a link down there in the description for the video. It's about an hour long. His documentary goes over with the writer and stuff like that, where he got the idea to write The Sandlot. It's a really well done documentary. But just something was missing from it. So as I'm watching it, I'm just like, man, it's just, something's not right. So I did start diving deep down into why was Bennie not at the reunion, and it's pretty disturbing. I'm gonna be honest with you, like it sucks. So I'm gonna dive deep down in today and tell you why Bennie was not at the reunion. So as I was doing some research, I found out that in 1997, Bennie decided to step away from acting. So his last credited role on IMDb is in 1997 from a show called Chicago Hope. That was the last thing he has on his IMDb. So I found out later on that in 2002, Mike decided to become an EMT, which led him down the path of his career that he has now as a firefighter. So he is in Los Angeles. He is a firefighter in Los Angeles. So 2006, he got married. They later on became parents of 3 children. And so life seemed to be going great for Bennie. So I know that he had done a spot in 2014, I think, for the Mighty Ducks. Because he was in the Mighty Ducks 2, I believe 3 as well. I know he was not in the original one. But he did do a spot for the Mighty Ducks. So, I just thought it was kind of weird. Like, why would he do Sandlot? So I couldn't find out as I was doing some research that Mike ran into some unfortunate events that happened. It was on Halloween in 2015. He was visiting some friends. He was over at a friend's house, Eric Carpenter, and also at the party was a good friend of theirs too named Thomas Moore. But what had happened is they had ran across this guy named Samuel Chang. He was 22 years old. He was in the neighborhood. He was actually at his grandmother's house, giving out Halloween candy to the kids. But I guess they kind of thought maybe he was giving out candy that was laced with drugs. Eric and Mike and Thomas all decided to run this guy out of town. Was walking him down the street. The guy, Samuel, was filming the whole thing. He just kept saying that he felt threatened. They kept telling him to leave. And he said, "I will leave once you guys turn around and leave me alone, but I'm not going to turn my back on you guys and walk away." So this goes on for, I think it's like a 15-minute video. It is on YouTube if you guys want to see it. There is some news stations that released it, so it is a little tricky to find, but you guys can find it if you guys truly want to watch it. But you can tell in the video that he's definitely like shaken up, like he's not turning off the camera, and probably smart. They proceed to follow him. They beat him up. And then the Eric guy decides to put him in a chokehold on the ground for several minutes, as someone else in Eric Carpenter's posse or whatever is filming this, and they just keep saying like, just relax. You guys just beat the crap out of the guy, and he's breathing heavy, and so based off all this, Samuel Chang actually ended up like stopped breathing for a while. Out of all this too, Mike is the one who performed CPR on the guy and brought him back. But it's absolutely crazy. Chang suffered several injuries that, he is still living with the effects of today. He had traumatic brain injury. He had kidney failure. He actually spent 7 days in ICU, which is just, it's insane. And the police did end up testing the candy that was left there at the scene and found no traces of drugs. So Eric was facing 7 years in prison. Mike and Thomas, his buddies, they were both facing 4 years in prison. But here's the crazy part about it all is they all pleaded no contest, and basically the charges were dropped. Which is crazy because the guy did stop breathing. They literally killed the guy for a while. They were able to bring him back, but that still does not make it right. That they were able to plead no contest, and basically all they got. I didn't really see a lot about the other guys. I'm just mainly focused on Mike here, Bennie. But he was suspended from his LA firefighter job for 6 months without pay, and that was it. That's all I got. Chang was awarded $7.14 million in damages, but still, to have the lasting effects that he has going on, I mean, it's not worth it. That sucks, man. So, I had gone down the rabbit hole, seeing all this stuff. I'm just like, mind blown, right? But I had seen that a lot of the cast members had reached out to Mike, Bennie, for the reunion, and he just politely said no thanks. Which is, it's probably best that he stays out of the media. I understand. But to be facing 4 years in prison for a crime that actually turned out to be false. The guy was not giving out any drugs. He was just at his grandmother's house handing out candy on Halloween. And for them to just attack the guy, and now he's living with the effects of the brain damage, the kidney failures, all that stuff, and you get 6 months, no pay. That's not right. So after watching the documentary and stuff like that, and then reading all this, I'm really glad that he wasn't on there, because I felt that wouldn't have been right. So this year in 2023, it does mark 30 years that The Sandlot came out. And what's crazy is one of the famous quotes from the movie is, Babe Ruth says it to Bennie. It says, "Heroes get remembered, and legends never die." One thing that's crazy is that Mike, Bennie, he was an LA firefighter. He was a true American hero. He put his life at risk every single day going to work, and just for his whole reputation to be ruined now. I hate to hear that's how it turned out. I want to know from you guys. I want to know down in the comments, guys. Let me know. I personally believe that they should have had jail time. That's just not right to... you brutally beat the guy up. Put him in ICU for 7 days. Traumatic brain injuries. Kidney failures. Literally stops breathing. And all you guys do is plead no contest. And it's like, okay, well, 6 months, no pay. That's equal. Insane to me. But I'm curious to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments, guys. Were you a fan of Sandlot? Does this change your opinion of Mike Vitar? It definitely does mine. It's hard. It's gonna be hard to watch that movie again and not think, of him doing this. I know he plays a character in the movie, but it's the person. So, but thank you guys so much for watching today. Mom, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.